When you're managing joint or muscle pain by yourself, you know it's so much more than just a simple ache, right? It kind of affects everything. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through some really practical, simple steps you can take to manage that pain safely and, most importantly, hold on to your independence right there at home. It's a question so many of us have to figure out. I mean, when you're the one responsible for everything, making sure you take your medicine on time, or just getting through the day's chores, pain just adds this whole other layer of challenge to living on your own. So, our goal here is simple. We're going to break down some effective strategies that put you right back in the driver's seat. Let's start by getting real about the unique challenges of handling this solo. First things first, it is so important to just acknowledge that managing pain alone is a unique kind of challenge. It's not just about the physical feeling of pain, it's about juggling everything else that comes along with it. Does any of this sound familiar? You know, trying to keep all your medications straight, that little worry in the back of your mind about a fall when a joint is having a particularly bad day, or just struggling with tasks that used to be a breeze. And, of course, that feeling of being isolated with the problem. These are all totally real and valid challenges. And honestly, just recognizing them is the very first step to getting on top of them. So where do we start with all this? Well, let's begin with one of the most important things you have control over, your medication. Having a smart, safe strategy here is really your first line of defense. You know, when it comes to pain medication, it's always this balancing act. Over-the-counter stuff is super convenient, but, and this is a big but, it can have hidden risks, like messing with other medications you're taking. Then on the other hand, you've got prescriptions. They can offer really powerful relief, but they often come with more serious side effects. The goal isn't to figure out which one is better, it's to understand the pros and cons so you can have a really solid, informed talk with your doctor. And this is how you take charge of that conversation. Your pharmacist is one of your most valuable and most accessible health resources. Seriously, don't be shy. Ask these exact questions before you even leave the counter. Getting these answers can stop a tiny mistake from turning into a big problem. Just think of it like your own personal safety checklist every single time. This really comes down to two simple but absolutely crucial habits. A pill organizer, it just takes all the guesswork out of your daily routine. And keeping an up-to-date list of your medications in your wallet or on your phone, that is so important in an emergency. It's a tiny bit of effort for a huge amount of peace of mind. Okay, let's move beyond the pill box for a minute. Let's talk about one of the most powerful tools you have in your toolbox for managing orthopedic pain, and that's gentle, purposeful movement. Think about this. Before your feet even hit the floor in the morning, you can start fighting off that stiffness. Give this a try tomorrow. Just sit at the edge of your bed, get your feet flat on the floor so you're stable, gently roll your shoulders back. Then, slowly tilt your head from side to side. See, it's not some big, sweaty workout. It's just about waking up your joints gently and safely. And this quote from our source material, it just says it all, doesn't it? You have to forget that whole no pain, no gain idea. That does not apply here. When we're talking about joint health, consistency is your superpower. A little bit of gentle movement every single day is going to do you way more good than one intense session a week. It could be anything. A few minutes of chair yoga, a slow walk. The trick is to find something you can stick with. All right, so we've talked about managing your body. Now let's talk about managing your environment. Your home should be your fortress of safety, not an obstacle course. There's actually a name for this. It's called fall-proofing, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the active process of hunting down and getting rid of risks. This is so critical because when you're having a pain flare-up, your balance and your mobility can change in an instant, and that makes fall-proofing a really essential, ongoing habit for staying truly independent. First and foremost, the number one rule: clear the pathways. Just take a look at the main routes you walk every day. From your bed to the bathroom, the kitchen to your favorite chair, make absolutely sure there are no cords, no clutter, no little tables just waiting to trip you up. Next up, light up the night. You know, a lot of falls happen during those late-night trips to the bathroom. Simple, motion-activated nightlights are a brilliant and pretty cheap way to make sure you can always see exactly where you're going. And finally, and please do this one, secure all your rugs. Throw rugs are honestly one of the biggest tripping hazards in any home. Grab some double-sided tape or a non-slip backing and make sure those things are anchored to the floor. And hey, if a rug just refuses to stay put, it's probably safer to just get rid of it. So, we've got our smart medication plan, our movement is medicine philosophy, and our safe, fortress-like home. So, now what?
How do we put all these pieces together into a daily plan that actually works?
This table gives you a great example of just how simple this can be. Look closely. You're not adding a dozen new chores to your day. You are simply weaving your pain management into the routine you already have. Waking up? Okay, that's when you do your gentle stretches. Got errands to run? Great. Just make sure you build in a rest break. This kind of structure gives you a sense of predictability and control. And believe me, that can be just as powerful as any medication. So, if you remember nothing else from this explainer, let it be these 3 things. 1. Talk. Be your own best advocate. 2. Move. As they say, motion is lotion for the joints. And 3. Prepare. Make your home your safe zone. These are really the pillars for managing pain and living independently.
And that brings us to the final question, which is really a call to action for you. This doesn't have to be some giant leap. Maybe the first step is just buying a pill organizer online. Maybe it's doing that gentle neck stretch right now while you're sitting there. Or maybe it's finally taping down that one rug you always catch your foot on. So ask yourself, what is the one small thing you can do today